Let's face it, when you tell people you're cruising with Carnival, you'll probably get that look. You know the one, the smirk, the overplayed joke about the Walmart of the seas, the warning that the food's going to be bland at best and suspect at worst.
But here's the thing. We've eaten our way through many Carnival cruises, from sunrise omelets to the midnight buffet, and we're here to tell it to you like it is. Is the criticism fair? Or is Carnival actually the most underrated food experience at sea? In this guide, we're cutting through the noise and getting to the truth.
Yes, Carnival has the usual spots, a buffet and a main dining room, just like any other cruise line. But where it truly shines, and where it might just blow your expectations out of the water, is in its lineup of complimentary venues.
We're talking about spots backed by big names. Guy Fieri, Emeril Lagasse, and Shaquille O'Neal. And unlike some other lines, looking at you, Royal, there aren't bait and switch extras. They're actually included with your cruise fare.
So whether you're a foodie, a skeptic, or just someone who wants to know where the good eats are, buckle up. We're about to break down every restaurant on Carnival, what it is, when to go, and whether it's worth your time and your calories. Let's kick things off with two staples of the Carnival Lido deck, Guy's Burger Joint and the BlueIguana Cantina. Thanks to the $2 billion Fun Ship 2.0 makeover that Carnival launched back in 2011, almost every single ship in the fleet now features these two fan favorites. On most ships, you will find Guy's and BlueIguana flanking the buffet, just steps from the main pool. But on the newer Excel-class ships, the expanded two-deck Lido means Guy's has moved upstairs to manage the lunchtime stampede and free up more seating space. This was a smart move because, yes, it really does get that popular. Created by the Food Network's hot rod-loving Guy Fieri, this venue is all about made-to-order burgers with serious flavor. Choose from a plain burger, classic cheeseburger, or one topped with crispy onion rings, then head to the toppings bar to make it your own. Load up with tomatoes, lettuce, onions, jalapenos, special sauces, and more. Guy's is also one of the few spots on board where you can grab fries, whether as a side to your burger or just a plateful on their own.
You know, it's one thing to tell you about Guy's Burgers, but even better that I show you. Check out this point of view Guy's experience.
Wow, watching that again reminds me of just how good those burgers really are. But here's something we learned the hard way. This is the one place where waiting in line actually works in your favor. A short wait means your burger is fresh off the grill. If there's no line, odds are that patty has been sitting under a heat lamp for a while, and trust me, that makes a big difference. Guy's Burgers is open from noon to 6 p.m. every day. It's our go-to spot to grab a late lunch after a shore excursion, especially when the buffet's already closed. On the Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter, recently acquired from P&O Australia, you'll find a fun twist. Luke's Burger Bar, created by Aussie chef Luke Mangan. Still complimentary, still delicious, just with a down-under spin.
On the opposite side of the Lido, BlueIguana Cantina brings the heat with fresh tacos and burritos made right in front of you. Choose your tortilla, your meat, beef, chicken, pork, fish, or shrimp, then stop by the toppings bar to customize your taco. You can add cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, pico de gallo, and other salsas, and finish it off with an impressive collection of hot sauces. At lunchtime, it's make-your-own burrito bar that rivals Chipotle's back on land. But here's the real hidden gem, breakfast. If you're looking for a tasty, protein-filled meal that is easily portable and will power you through a busy day, you can't go wrong with one of BlueIguana's breakfast burritos. This has officially become our debarkation morning tradition, and it never disappoints. Recently, we found one more reason to visit BlueIguana for breakfast: Huevos Rancheros.
I had the bright idea to go over to BlueIguana, where you can also get Huevos Rancheros. Not bad. It is hot. I was able to add my own toppings at the salsa bar, so I got some salsa and some sour cream and some cilantro. They also have the beans and the chicken in there. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Blue Iguana is a great Mexican spot that is fairly consistent across the ships, with one exception. On smaller ships, they don't always keep the meat on a burner. So don't be afraid to ask which options are hot, because cold carnitas makes a sad taco. The Blue Iguana is open for breakfast from 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. Lunch is served from noon to 2:30, sometimes 3:30 on port days. On Venice-class ships, the venue has been rebranded as Tamodoro with an Italian twist to match the fun Italian-style theme. Expect the same burrito basics, but with a few Italian specialties mixed in.
Tucked inside the buffet on most Carnival ships, the Carnival Deli offers a solid lineup of hot and cold sandwiches, wraps, and sides, all made to order. The deli counter has a printed menu, but the staff is more than happy to customize your order. Want to swap pastrami for turkey, add pickles, invent something completely off menu? Go for it. They'll make it happen. In addition to the sandwiches, you can grab hot dogs, chili dogs, coleslaw, and fries. And yes, the fries here are slightly different than the ones at Guy's Burgers. Not better or worse, just different. So be sure to try both in the interest of science. The deli is open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., making it a popular spot during the in-between hours when the buffet is closed. On Excel-class ships, the deli has moved out of the buffet and down to Deck 8, with each venue themed to match the ship. You'll find Piazza Panini on Mardi Gras, Beach Buns on the Carnival Jubilee, and Deco Deli with Miami-inspired Cubanos on the Carnival Celebration. Now, here's the honest truth. The deli is probably the most inconsistent food venue across the Carnival fleet. Some ships absolutely nail it, others not so much. But even on ships where it's a little underwhelming, there's usually at least one standout sandwich, so don't write it off after a single visit, just try something else the next time around.
Rounding out the typical Lido deck offerings is Carnival's Pizza Joint, which you'll find either inside the buffet or tucked near the aft bar. Depending on the ship, the venue may be called either Pizza Pirate or Pizzeria del Capitano. But as far as we can tell, the recipes and toppings are identical, and so is the experience. Here's the deal. This isn't gourmet pizza, and it's definitely not winning any awards. In our opinion, the quality varies depending on one thing: how well the oven works. On some ships it's acceptable, on others the crust tastes like soggy cardboard with some cheese on top. Rubbery and bland. Fortunately, the pizzas are small, just enough for 2 people, which means they're usually made fresh to order, and that does help. On Carnival's XL class ships, the pizza venue has been moved to Deck 8, right next to the deli, and renamed to match each ship's theme. But the real game changer is the proper pizza ovens. We've sailed on both the Mardi Gras and the Celebration, and the pizza was noticeably better than any other Carnival ships we've tried. Hotter, crispier, and just more satisfying overall. And we're pretty sure those upgraded ovens are the reason why. Of course, word gets around, and that means the pizza line is always long. The pizza counter is open from 9 a.m. until midnight, making it the longest running food venue on board. So if you're craving pizza, feel free to have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Do you know what else is available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? The buffet.
That's right. All this talk about the extra venues on the Lido deck, and I almost forgot to mention the Marketplace Buffet. Now, before you start picturing an endless Vegas-style lineup, let's set expectations. The buffet is not open 24/7. It runs on a pretty firm schedule, with set hours for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus the famous midnight buffet. And honestly, the buffet is decent, but not mind-blowing. The quality can vary depending on the ship, and we assume who is the head chef in the kitchen. On some cruises, the operation runs like clockwork. Buffet lines labeled, spotless counters, everything hot and fresh. Other times, it feels more like a controlled chaos. So your mileage may vary. That said, the core offerings tend to be consistent across Carnival's fleet, with 2 noticeable exceptions. First, if you're sailing on one of Carnival's XL class ships, that's the Mardi Gras, the Celebration, or the Jubilee, you are in for a treat at lunchtime, a shawarma station. Tucked into the lunch buffet, this spot serves up warm pita loaded with seasoned meat, veggies, and a dollop of tzatziki sauce. I'll admit I went back for seconds, and maybe thirds. No regrets. As for the second buffet surprise, we'll talk about that later. Let's just say it ties into our ship tour tradition. For now, let's just get back to breakfast, where the coffee flows freely, the lines are long, and good luck finding a table after 9 a.m.
The breakfast buffet opens in 3 waves: continental, regular, and late riser, though only the regular time gives you the full spread. Typically, breakfast is served from 7 to 11:30 a.m., but that can vary based on your cruise itinerary. So what's available? You've got pastries like danishes, croissants, muffins, and either sticky buns or apple panettone, which you have to try at least once. A salad bar with yogurt, fruit, and cold breakfast items like meats, cheeses, and cottage cheese. A station with cereal, milk cartons, and assorted jams. Multiple buffet lines serving the same mix of oatmeal, grits, toast, ham, hard-boiled eggs, eggs Benedict, hash browns or potato wedges, French toast or pancakes, and either bacon or sausage. And of course, the ever-popular omelet stations, usually 2 per ship. You don't have to limit yourself to omelets. You can get fresh scrambled eggs or fried eggs however you like them. But fair warning, the omelet lines are long and slow. Honestly, breakfast is decent, but nothing really stands out. We did get pretty excited about the eggs Benedict on our first cruise until we realized the yolks are usually cooked solid by the time you sit down. And speaking of that, it's particularly hard to find an empty table near the buffet at breakfast time, so be sure you come with a game plan in mind.
Next up, lunch. Now, full disclosure, we've skipped the lunch buffet more often than not. This is partly because there are so many other amazing options available throughout the ship. We already mentioned 4, but stay tuned because there are still a few more we have yet to get to. The other reason we miss lunch is because of the limited hours. The buffet tends to close right around the time we're finally thinking about food. It's open from noon until 2:30, sometimes 3:30 on port days. Back home, we usually eat a late lunch after 2 p.m., so the buffet is just closing down by the time we make it up there. This is too bad, or maybe a blessing in disguise, because lunch is when Carnival rolls out their best desserts.
That's right. We're talking rich, layered chocolate cakes that are way better than what's served at dinner. And if your cruise is 6 days or longer, don't miss the chocolate extravaganza on the last sea day. The pastry team absolutely outdoes themselves with the cakes, and there is a chocolate fondue fountain and sometimes an ice cream sundae bar. Fair warning, this one's not always listed in the Carnival Hub app, so don't forget to swing by the buffet and check it out.
As you can see, Emily really gets into her desserts. She completely forgot to tell you about the regular food found at the lunch buffet. You can expect a full salad bar with plenty of toppings and salad dressings, deli meats, cheeses, and a few pre-made salads. 1 soup of the day, several hot entrees and sides, a carving station with roasted meat. Dinner at the buffet runs from 6 to 9:30 p.m. And this is pretty similar to lunch, just with a bit more polish. You'll get the salad bar again, a different soup option, and a new meat at the carving station. Plus a rotating selection of hot dishes. Many of these are pulled from the main dining room menu, but not everything makes it to the buffet line. Let's not forget one of the best kept secrets of the Lido Marketplace, the Midnight Buffet. It's a classic of Carnival Cruises. Although it no longer has the legendary items like fruit sculptures, charcuterie trees, and shrimp cocktails, it still has a decent selection. There is Chicago-style pizza, which is different from what is served at the Pizzeria, chicken strips, Italian meatball subs, chips and salsa, and of course a selection of desserts. It's open from 11:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m., though hours may vary each cruise.
Right around now, you may be wondering what types of drinks you can get during your cruise. Of course, if you've purchased the Carnival Cheers package, you can order just about anything from any bar on board. You'll find specialty coffee and tea brewed at a kiosk in the buffet, or you can stop by the Red Frog Rum Bar near the main pool to get either soda or alcoholic drinks. I'll leave a link in the description for our Carnival Cheers video that helps you do the math and decide if a drink package is right for you. Be sure to watch that video next. Carnival does offer a few free beverages. The selection isn't massive, but it does cover the basics. You can order these drinks from the main dining room or go to one of the complimentary beverage stations found in the Lido Buffet. At breakfast, Vitality beverage dispensers are stocked with orange juice, apple juice, and, my favorite, passion fruit guava. At lunch, the selection is switched to iced tea and lemonade. Milk is available by the carton at breakfast, usually found next to the cereal in the buffet line. There is a water dispenser with filtered water and ice. You can drink the water from the tap in your stateroom bathroom, but trust me, the water in the buffet tastes better. although that's not to say great. If you want bottled water, you're looking at $2.25 for a small bottle or $4.75 for a 1.5 liter bottle. But longtime Carnival cruisers should know that they can make use of their gold or higher loyalty status to get one large bottle free on every cruise. Of course, coffee is always brewing, both regular and decaf. There's also hot water with a stash of Lipton tea bags and usually Brimmer green tea. Some ships have a hot chocolate machine, while others provide instant packets to mix with the hot water. But let's face it, cruise ship coffee can be a gamble. If you're serious about your morning ritual, head to the JavaBlue Cafe, Carnival's specialty coffee bar. Here, you can order everything from espressos and cappuccinos to iced lattes, cold brew, and even milkshakes and spiked coffee cocktails. If you're looking for a cold, non-alcoholic drink, you can pick up bottles of Naked Juice and Gatorade and cans of Celsius, Red Bull, and Monster energy drinks. All of these drinks are included with your Cheers beverage package or sold a la carte. But JavaBlue is not just a coffee stop. It offers a tantalizing lineup of sweets throughout the day. This is the one spot that you can get a donut on board for an extra $4. Big enough to share with a friend, they come in unique flavors like torched meringue and bacon caramel. We've tried several of the treats at JavaBlue and they are worth the splurge. The coffee shops found on most newer ships are branded as JavaBlue, but even those on older ships with their original decor still offer the same menu and prices.
If you're craving something light, Fresh Creations is your go-to oasis. Tucked inside the Serenity area of XL and Vista class ships, this salad bar offers a peaceful, healthy lunch option. Here's the catch. Fresh Creations is only open on sea days and only open during lunch hours, so make sure you don't miss the window. Also, because it's located in Serenity, the spot is exclusively for guests 21 and older. Sorry, the kiddos will have to get their salad at the buffet. Who doesn't love Chinese food? Whether you're craving noodles, stir fry, or a heaping scoop of fried rice, Carnival has a few solid options. Though exactly what you'll find depends on which ship you're sailing. On Spirit class ships, one section of the buffet transforms at lunchtime into Chopsticks. This casual counter offers fried rice, lo mein, egg rolls, and sweet and sour chicken. It's pretty basic, and reminiscent of what you'd find at a mall food court, similar to Panda Express or Lian Chin, only not quite as good. In our experience, the best Chinese food is available on embarkation day. Later in the cruise, the quality just isn't there. On Vista class ships, Carnival has upped the ante with JiJi Asian Kitchen. This is a full-service specialty restaurant that explores flavors from across China, Vietnam, Mongolia, and more. For $24, dinner includes an appetizer, soup, entree, and dessert. It's a great way to enjoy a more elevated dining experience without breaking the bank. JiJi's is just one of several specialty dining options available on Carnival ships. We'll be getting to the rest soon, so stay tuned if you're curious about the steakhouse, seafood, or the exclusive Emeril's Bistro. Now here's an insider tip. On sea days, JiJi opens up at lunchtime as the Mongolian Wok, and it's completely free. On Dream and Conquest class ships, you won't find JiJi's, but you will find a Mongolian Wok station inside the buffet. And this is where things really start to shine. Guests choose between stir-fried noodles or noodles and broth, each topped with their choice of protein and vegetables. It's one of our go-to spots for embarkation lunch and consistently one of the best complimentary meals on board.
The Carnival Sunrise has a similar lunchtime venue, the Lucky Bowl, with a rotating selection of ramen-style dishes. And of course, if you're cruising on an Excel-class ship, don't miss Chibang, a bold and unexpected Chinese-Mexican fusion restaurant. We'll be talking about this restaurant more later, so stay tuned.
There are two more popular venues serving up Asian flavors on Carnival ships, but these aren't included in the complimentary dining lineup. That said, in our experience, they're well worth the splurge. Carnival first introduced Bonsai Sushi back in 2012 aboard the Carnival Breeze, making the cruise line's first full-service sushi restaurant. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and since then, Bonsai Sushi has spread across the fleet. On smaller ships, you'll find Bonsai Sushi Express or Sushi at Sea with grab-and-go options. But on most newer and larger ships, you'll find a full-service Bonsai Sushi where a sushi chef prepares the fresh meal right in front of you while you watch. We've dined at Bonsai Sushi several times and have always been impressed with the quality. From classic rolls and sashimi to bento boxes and noodle salad, it's a solid menu that rivals land-based sushi joints in both taste and value. If you're going with a friend, we highly recommend the Ship for Two, a beautifully presented sampler that's both delicious and photo-worthy. Can't make it to Bonsai Sushi? No worries. You can also order the Ship for Two right from the main dining room. Then there's Bonsai Teppanyaki, which made its debut on the Carnival Horizon in 2018. It is now found on 7 of Carnival's largest ships. This isn't just dinner, it's a full-on immersive experience. Guests are seated around hibachi-style grills at 2 8-person tables, where high-energy chefs cook your meal right in front of you with plenty of flair, fire, and flying utensils. The menu features multi-course options like filet mignon and teriyaki salmon, all served with miso soup, fried rice, and veggies. It's a fantastic pick if you're looking for a dinner that doubles as entertainment. Just keep in mind, this is a group dining setup, so it might not be ideal if you're looking for something intimate and quiet.
If you're someone who believes summer vacation isn't complete without a plate of smoky, slow-cooked meat, Carnival's got you covered. And yes, the hot rod chef, Guy Fieri, is back in the mix. Let's start with the most fully loaded option, Guy's Pig and Anchor Barbecue Smokehouse Brewhouse. This full-service venue is found on all 3 Excel-class ships and 2 Vista-class ships. This isn't just a restaurant, it's a working brewery at sea where you can take a behind-the-scenes tour and sample craft beer brewed right on board. The evening experience is a sit-down dinner with barbecue classics and tasty sides. Interestingly, dinner is free on Excel-class ships, with a few exceptions like the baby back ribs. However, on the Horizon and the Panorama, there is an a la carte pricing on every item. There's another advantage of the Pig and Anchor found on Excel-class ships. It serves my hands-down favorite dessert on any Carnival venue.
Yeah, and we've already established that Emily knows her desserts.
Guilty as charged. I'm talking about the Mississippi Mud Pie. This is a thick wedge of chocolate pudding layered in a graham cracker crust and served with a dollop of whipped cream. I loved it so much that I forgot to take a picture, so you'll just have to take my word for it and order it yourself. During the day, an outdoor buffet version of the Smokehouse opens for lunch on sea days. This complimentary venue appears on Excel and Vista class ships, as well as some Dream and Sunshine class ships. Expect a more casual approach, but the staples are still there: pulled pork, brisket, barbecue chicken, and hearty sides. If you're sailing on a Conquest class ship, don't miss the old-fashioned barbecue, hidden at the top of the staircase in the buffet. It doesn't carry Guy's branding, but you'll recognize the familiar setup: smoked meats and comfort food sides served with Guy's signature line of barbecue sauces. And over on Carnival Venezia and Carnival Firenze, barbecue gets a bit of an Italian twist with La Strada Grill. Here you'll find some barbecue-inspired items alongside Italian paninis, meatball subs, and antipasti salads. Like the others, it's only open from noon to 2:30 on sea days. Plan your cruise accordingly so you don't miss out.
On Carnival's Excel-class ships, the expanded Lido deck brings even more dining options to satisfy your cravings. Street Eats is a vibrant food truck-style venue located on the Lido deck, offering a rotating selection of small plates from 3 different stations. Each day features unique dishes such as bao buns, satays, and loaded fries. Street Eats serves food from 11:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., providing a convenient option when the buffet is closed. We honestly loved this spot and ended up grabbing lunch here almost every day during our sailings on both the Mardi Gras and Carnival celebration. With the rotating menu, there was something new to try each day of our 7-day cruise, and we never got bored.
Back in 2018, Shaquille O'Neal decided he wanted to do more than dunk on defenders and shoot free throws.
Sorry, Shaq, you were never very good at free throws anyway.
Shaq set out to fulfill a lifelong dream and opened his own restaurant, Big Chicken. Fast forward to today, and there are nearly 24 Big Chicken locations worldwide, including 4 on Carnival cruise ships. Shaq used his title as Carnival's Chief Fun Officer to launch the first at-sea Big Chicken on the Carnival Radiance in 2020. It was such a hit that Carnival rolled it out on all 3 of its new Excel-class ships: Mardi Gras, Celebration, and Jubilee. So if you're sailing on any of these 4, you've got front row access to Shaq's fried chicken recipes. Yes, they're actually based on his own recipes. This quick service spot delivers exactly what you'd hope for: crispy chicken sandwiches, tenders, and fries. If you prefer something a little lighter, ask for a grilled chicken breast instead. There's also a toppings bar, complete with spicy slaw and 5 types of sauce, so you can customize your plate just how you like it. And don't skip the fries. They're different from the ones at Guy's Burgers or the Deli. We had cruised with Carnival several times before we finally booked the Mardi Gras and got our first taste of Big Chicken. It lived up to the hype. The sandwiches were full of flavor, the toppings added a fun twist, and it was a great break from our usual lunch at Guy's and Blue Iguana. But Big Chicken isn't just for lunch. It also serves a few unique breakfast items that Joe was particularly excited to try. Let's see what he thought.
Ugh. I hate to say it, guys, but the eggs were cold, the biscuit was stale, and the chicken wasn't very good. Carnival, you guys gotta work on Shaq's breakfast. It could really use some improvement.
Well, the biscuit and eggs were a disappointment, but you can still take advantage of the 3-cheese omelet. This is a great way to beat the line at the omelet station in the buffet. Big Chicken serves breakfast from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and lunch from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you're on the Carnival Firenze, check out the Chicken Shack. It isn't endorsed by Shaq, but it does serve a similar lineup. Before we leave the Lido deck, I have to mention one more spot found on every Carnival ship. Swirls, the self-serve ice cream station. If you've watched any of our ship tours, you already know the drill. I always grab a cone when we pass by. It's a tradition, and honestly, who can resist? Swirls offers soft-serve chocolate and vanilla ice cream plus strawberry and chocolate frozen yogurt. But a few cruises ago, I stumbled onto something even better, and it blew my mind. Complimentary homemade gelato at lunchtime. This isn't advertised much, and it's not available on every ship. But if you're sailing on an Excel or Vista class ship, keep an eye out. And maybe it's on more ships now? If you've seen it elsewhere, let me know in the comments. You'll usually find it tucked near the desserts in the buffet at lunchtime with rotating flavors that are way better than the standard Swirls cones.
We've covered a lot of venues so far, and most of those have been on the Lido deck. These give you a lot of options for breakfast and lunch, but let's be real. When dinner rolls around, you're probably ready to level things up a little bit. That's not to say you need to dress to the nines, unless you want to. One of the reasons we keep coming back to Carnival is because they're not as pretentious as many of the other cruise lines. We never feel judged based on what we're wearing. You can absolutely dress up for dinner if you're feeling fancy, but you won't get the side eye for wearing a sundress or a nice t-shirt either. Just leave the flip-flops and swimsuits back in your cabin. Now, you could hit up the buffet again for dinner, or treat yourself to one of the specialty restaurants. Don't worry, we're getting there soon, but in our opinion, it would be a mistake not to experience at least one dinner in the main dining room. Why? Because this is where you really get a feel of the ship's personality. The main dining room, or MDR as seasoned cruisers like to say, isn't just about the food, it's about the service, the atmosphere, the subtle little details that make each ship unique. Every Carnival ship has 1 or 2 main dining rooms with over-the-top themed decor. Ornate ceilings, sweeping staircases, massive light fixtures. It really makes you pause for a second when you walk in. You have a few choices for dinner. You can choose your time dining, which gives you the flexibility to eat whenever you want, but doesn't guarantee the same table each night. Or you can opt for traditional dining with a set time and the same servers every night. Your choices are early at 5:30 or late at 7:30. While most guests arrive punctually, you actually have about 30 minutes on either side of your scheduled time to get to your table. Now, table placement is a big factor in the enjoyment of your meal. Some guests love to mingle at a large shared table and chat with new cruise buddies. Others, like us, prefer a quieter table tucked away from the hustle. If you opt for traditional dining, you'll be assigned a table your first night. If it doesn't suit you, do not hesitate to speak to the maitre d'. They can usually find you something more to your liking. It may require a shift to the generally less crowded late dining, but if it improves your whole cruise, it's totally worth it. If you go with your time dining, you'll get a little more control as you can request a shared or private table as you book your reservation each night through the Carnival Hub app. And of course, your waitstaff makes a huge difference to your dining experience as well. With traditional dining, you'll have the same servers each night. They'll learn your name, your drink order, and how you like your steak. With your time dining, you'll rotate through servers, but they still work hard to make you feel welcome. As far as the food goes, we'll be honest, the quality can vary widely. While the menu is the same across the Carnival fleet, in our experience, the chef and kitchen staff really determine how good the dishes taste on your particular ship.
For example, I'm a fan of Indian cuisine, so I tried the featured Indian vegetarian dish one night on the Carnival Pride. Frankly, it was underwhelming. But a few cruises later, I tried the same dish on the Carnival Legend, and it was so flavorful, I ended up ordering the Indian specialty 4 times in 10 nights. Same menu, totally different experience. It really does come down to who's in the kitchen. That said, here's a general idea of what you can expect on the dinner menu each night. 2 soups and at least 1 salad option to start. Sometimes you'll find appetizers highlighting the specialty restaurants, like the tuna tiradito Niki, a sushi roll from Bonsai Sushi. The nightly Emeril Select starter is usually a safe bet if you're not sure what to get. Emeril Select entrees are also featured nightly. These tend to be Carnival's best executed dishes and worth a try. You'll always find classic staples like grilled chicken breast or a strip steak. And depending on the night, you'll find a mix of seafood, pasta, and international dishes. On cruises 6 nights or longer, you'll be treated to lobster tail, typically on the second elegant night. It's one of the few splurge items that you can get without paying extra. Dessert always includes 2 rotating options plus a few constants: Carnival's legendary melting chocolate cake, a cheese plate, and ice cream or sorbet. Oh, and just to be absolutely clear if this is your first time cruising, the main dining room is included in your cruise fare. You can have a multi-course meal with appetizers, entrees, and dessert every single night. And yes, you can order 2 entrees if you really want. Our take? Don't skip the main dining room. Even if you're a buffet regular or prefer the exclusivity of the specialty restaurants, try the MDR at least once. And in fact, the MDR isn't just for dinner. Carnival offers a sit-down, serve breakfast on port days from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Sea Day Brunch is a Carnival fan favorite, and for good reason. You'll find everything from breakfast classics to more indulgent picks like my favorite, the skillet cake with guava preserves. If you're only going to do 1 breakfast in the MDR, make it this one. On longer sailings, you might be treated to special themed lunches highlighting cuisine from around the world, or even a charming afternoon tea with finger sandwiches, scones, and tiny desserts that make you feel fancier than you probably are.
If you're looking to elevate your dining experience beyond the usual fare, Farenheit 555 is Carnival's flagship steakhouse and one of the most popular specialty dining options across the fleet. While the name and decor might vary slightly from ship to ship, especially on older vessels, the menu remains consistent, serving up classic high-end steakhouse experiences with premium cuts, top-tier service. The standard dinner menu features options like filet mignon, New York strip, lobster tail, lamb chops, and a lot more, alongside indulgent appetizers, gourmet sides, and rich desserts. Dinner is $52 per person plus an automatic 18% service charge. This means a dinner for 2 will cost nearly $125 extra, not including drinks. Reviews are mixed, with some guests saying it's absolutely worth it to celebrate a special anniversary. But others feel they could get a better meal for the same price back on land. Location can really shape the experience too. On Spirit class ships, for example, the steakhouse is uniquely tucked away just under the ship's iconic funnel, with a stunning skylight overhead. Dining there as the ship sails away on embarkation day is a truly memorable way to start your cruise. If you'd like to experience the steakhouse without a hefty price tag, you can occasionally get a chance to try a specialty brunch on select sea days. For $28 per person, you can indulge in an upscale breakfast and lunch like avocado toast caprese, shrimp quiche, and eggs benedict. The brunch runs from 8:30 a.m. to noon, and it's a fantastic way to kick off a lazy sea day.
Carnival's upscale seafood restaurant was created by Rudi Sodemann, an Austrian chef who has made a name for himself in the cruising world. He has also developed restaurants for Princess Cruises and the Holland America line. Rudi's Seagrill is exclusive to Carnival's Excel class ships. It's tucked away just off the main promenade, and the space itself is elegant and insulated from the noise of passing crowds. It feels like a hidden oasis for foodies. The menu includes lobster tail, scallop top crab cakes, and Rudi's signature seafood tower. Beyond the food, the real highlight here is the presentation. Expect beautifully plated dishes, complete with playful touches like fish-shaped dinnerware and desserts that look almost too pretty to eat. As a specialty venue, Rudi's Seagrill comes with an upcharge of $52 per person. If you're looking for an elegant dinner with a bit of visual wow factor, it's absolutely worth considering.
If you're craving fresh seafood but you're not on one of Carnival's Excel class ships, don't worry, you aren't completely out of luck. The Seafood Shack is a walk-up counter offering a la carte seafood favorites like lobster rolls, clam strips, and even buckets of steamed seafood. On most ships, it is located near the back of the Lido deck and is open from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., making it a solid option for lunch, dinner, or a late night bite after a show. On some ships, the venue has been rebranded as the Seafood Corner, which operates as a pop-up counter within the buffet. These locations don't open until 4, but the menu is the same. In theory, you should be able to order from Seafood Shack using the Carnival Hub app, but in our experience, that feature has been hit or miss. While it comes up under the Food Order tab, the actual ordering function is frequently grayed out or unavailable. So if you're craving a lobster roll, we suggest going to order in person.
On the Venezia and the Firenze, Carnival's Italian-themed ships, you'll find a specialty dining venue called Il Viaggio, which translates to The Journey. This elegant restaurant offers a menu full of a classic Italian favorites, from handmade pastas and fresh seafood to rich, slow-simmered sauces. The atmosphere is warm and refined with a touch of upscale flair that sets it apart from the rest of the ship's dining options. There's a $42 per person upcharge, and for fans of Italian cuisine, it is worth the splurge. On other Carnival ships, the Italian specialty restaurant goes by the name Cucina del Capitano. The vibe here is more homey and rustic, and the menu is different from Il Viaggio, although it still focuses on hearty, authentic Italian dishes. One fun touch: each ship's cucina includes a signature dish inspired by that ship's captain's own family recipes. So the menu is just a little different depending on which ship you sail. Cucina del Capitano comes with a $24 per person cover charge, but there's a great perk if you're sailing on an Excel class ship. You get one complimentary dinner at Cucina, and after that, each additional visit is only $8. A pretty fantastic deal considering the quality. When we ate here on the Carnival celebration, it was one of my favorite cruise meals ever. Everything was cooked to perfection. No matter which version of the Italian restaurant your ship has, here's a hot tip. At lunchtime, these venues transform into the free, but surprisingly under the radar, Captain's Pasta Bar. It's a build-your-own pasta experience where you choose your pasta, sauce, veggies, and protein, and they make it fresh to order. It's only available between noon and 1:30 on sea days, so be sure to schedule time to try it out on your cruise.
Now, we mentioned Chibang a bit earlier and promised to talk about it more. This is a new dining concept offered exclusively on Carnival's largest ships, the Mardi Gras Celebration and Jubilee. It's a fusion restaurant serving Chinese and Mexican cuisine. But before you start daydreaming about carnita stuffed egg rolls or jalapeno fried rice, let me clarify. There are 2 menus to order from, one Chinese and one Mexican. The items are classics from each cuisine: spring rolls and kung pao chicken, nachos and tacos. You can mix and match appetizers and entrees from either menu, depending on what you're in the mood for. Like Cucina del Capitano, found on XL class ships, Chibang is also complimentary for the first dinner. If you'd like to return, there's a minimal $8 cover charge per guest. The ambience is casual but colorful, with thematic elements that hint at both cultures without feeling too over the top. While the dining room can get a bit loud, the service is excellent. The portions are generous, and the menu offers plenty of flavorful options for both adventurous and traditional eaters. Chibang is open from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. for dinner, as well as lunch on sea days from noon to 1:30.
Another venue available only on Carnival's newest Excel class ships is Emeril's Bistro, a dining concept brought to sea by none other than celebrity chef Emeril Lagasse. This venue brings a little Louisiana flair on board with bold flavors that make you say, BAM! There are 3 versions of the bistro, each with a slightly different menu. The original version on the Mardi Gras focuses on the Creole specialties that made Emeril famous. like the fried shrimp and oyster po' boy or Emeril's signature jambalaya. On the Celebration, there is a Taste the World menu that changes daily, bringing you dishes from Europe, Mexico, South America, and Asia. And on the Jubilee, the focus is on seafood with a fresh seafood bar offering shellfish by the pound. The menu is a la carte with most items ranging between $4 and $12, so it's a great way to enjoy upscale dishes without committing to a full specialty restaurant charge. We were excited to try Emeril's on the Carnival Celebration, but in our opinion, the experience did not live up to the hype. We ordered several of the Creole specialties and they were all deep fried. Not necessarily bad, just heavy, and not quite the elevated touch we were hoping for. In retrospect, we wish we had tried a few of the Taste the World items. That said, breakfast here gets rave reviews, and rightfully so. For just $6, you can choose from several Creole morning specialties. The real standout? The beignets. And the good news is, they're available to order in the MDR on every ship. Warm, fluffy pastries, dusted in powdered sugar and served with a dipping sauce. Honestly, they almost make up for the fact that Carnival doesn't serve donuts at breakfast. You can enjoy Emeril's recipes even if you aren't sailing on an Excel-class ship. As we mentioned earlier, the main dining room menu includes a different Emeril Select appetizer and entree every evening. These items are often available at the buffet as well. Who knew there were so many food and drink options on a Carnival cruise?
Yeah, and with the celebrity endorsements from Guy Fieri, Shaquille O'Neal, and Emeril Lagasse, you know you can't go wrong.
Let's take a moment to review your options. For breakfast, you have the ever-popular Lido buffet with the usual morning staples. But don't overlook Blue Iguana, Big Chicken, or even pizza. Want a slower start to your day? Head to the MDR for a sit-down breakfast or brunch.
Lunchtime is when Carnival really shines. You've got burgers at Guy's, barbecue at the Pig and Anchor, tacos at the Blue Iguana, sandwiches at the Deli, or of course there's always the Lido buffet. You can even get a bit fancy for your midday meal with some specialty dining.
For dinner, stick to the main dining room or buffet for a delicious complimentary meal, or treat yourself to one of Carnival's many specialty restaurants for something extra special.
The variety is seriously impressive. You might even find it hard to try everything in just one cruise.
But that's the great thing about Carnival. They offer more complimentary dining venues than any other mainstream cruise line. Combine that with their already affordable cruise fares, and you've got more money left in your pocket. So why not book your next cruise before you've even finished dessert?
Hey, thanks for sticking with us on this whirlwind tour of the food venues you'll find on Carnival. I hope you learned a few new tips to enhance your next Carnival cruise. Until next time, remember, whether you're eating a burger at Guy's or enjoying a lobster on formal night, adventure awaits.